The two ordinary hosts of this podcast are not professionals on parapsychology, extraterrestrials, cryptozoology, nor would they describe themselves as religious or prone to superstition. They'd also like to make it known that this show is not intended for children or those with sensitive sensibilities. Please listen at your own discretion. And remember, the truth is often anecdotal.
Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. In the attempt to escape from this terrible and anxiety-inducing phenomenon that we call reality, some have found a way to step outside the physical and find themselves elsewhere. Often referred to as astral projection, a spirit walk, or a soul journey, these dream vacations are all a form of intentional out-of-body experiences, or OBE if you're in a rush about it. Those gifted or lucky enough to set out on those head trips claim to perceive the world from outside their own body. Wikipedia suggests that OBEs can be induced by such things as traumatic brain injuries, sensory deprivation, near-death experiences, dissociative and psychedelic drugs, dehydration, sleep disorders, dreaming, and electrical stimulation of the brain. All of this should be considered while we discuss today's episode, Astral Projection, or Out-of-Body Experiences. Hello, listeners. I am Mr. R.
And I'm Mr. X.
Just a paranormal dudes.
Reading paranormal stories.
Mr. X, have you ever astral projected?
Every day of my life.
Oh, that's
I feel
pretty
like
cool.
I'm doing it at work and through appointments, and I don't know. I personally feel like I never leave my bed, but here we are recording a podcast right now.
That must feel very relaxing.
No, not at all.
Oh, to have never left your bed and doing constant work inside your mind?
Yeah, no, the mind work is the most stressful part.
I like the idea of mind work.
Yeah.
Why can't I get paid for mind work? Can we refer from now on, to thinking as mind work?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I work for a union, so I can declare anything I want.
You know what? That's true. Good for you.
So, astral projection, out-of-body experiences. You suggested this theme for this episode. Why? What brought this thought into your mind work?
So I definitely posted this in the themes for some reason on my birthday, but I think what I was doing was preparing for a different episode, and I ran into an astral projection page.
Oh, well, there was that comment that we had. I don't even remember what episode that was, but the guy just randomly brought up a story of astral projection, and I was like, "This is wild."
That might be it, actually. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, I wish I could remember which episode and what comment that was.
Once we figure it out, we'll probably post a link to it somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I found some weird and interesting stories for this one.
So people are pretty diehard on this stuff.
Yeah, hopefully we don't offend any of them with our.
Well, no, that's not our intention here.
Yeah. So, I don't know about you, but mines are pretty goofy, and I don't think these people take it very seriously. Would you like me to go first this week?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, I'll just go with the first one I submitted. This one from the Paranormal subreddit, posted 2 years ago, is titled, "Yesterday, I Saw My Own Body." As the title says, yesterday I saw my own body. I awoke in the middle of the night around 3 a.m. to a loud bang. I shot up out of bed to look around, and when I had gone to check on my fiancée, I saw my body just laying there beside her. I freaked out and started jumping on the bed trying to get back into my body, and finally came to on the floor, no worse for wear. Has this phenomenon happened to anyone else, or is my fiancé gaslighting me?
Okay.
Now, Mr. R, has this phenomenon happened to you before?
I have never experienced anything like this. the closest thing that I've experienced to an out-of-body experience would be one time I ate too many edibles and I started having a laughing fit. Now, that sounds funny up until I started to like sweat and panic because nothing was funny. Now, like I wasn't laughing because of anything. I was just laughing. And like I really started to like internalize everything around me. My hands felt enormous and I had to like lay down. Like I had to like have like a drink of cold water and like kind of reassess myself. But that I've never felt outside my own body.
Never had a near-death experience or anything like that?
Oh, I've had plenty of those, but it was never like, I just look back on it. I don't look from outside in.
Yeah. See, I've heard a lot of stories of astral projection, quote unquote, during like near-death experiences, like people flatlining on a table and then saying that they saw their own body. And I guess, you can say that I've had a similar experience. I was hit by a car when I was really little, and I do remember being uh, on a gurney, I guess, being taken through the hospital. But that's just me thinking back on it, right? I wasn't actually like floating over my body watching this experience. I vividly remember it from my POV, but like you said, looking back on it, you probably are imagining the scenario from a different perspective, which is always what I think when people tell me these stories. I'm like, are you sure you weren't just remembering that? I mean, if you're in the hospital, for sure you could have been on drugs or something. Something could be influencing the way that you're experiencing this moment.
I mean, also like for a lot of near-death experiences, people aren't conscious for them. Like they're passed out or their brain function is very, very low.
Mhm.
For someone to remember moments like that, it could just be them remembering what they were told and then interpreting what they were told as their own memory.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of outside influence on these kinds of things, which will lead us to our first comment here.
Actually, hold on, wait. You've had multiple near-death experiences. You drowned.
Yeah, I definitely didn't witness that from a third perspective, though. I just woke up. And it felt euphoric. I was just talking about this with the man who was telling me about his astral projection experience. That I just
Yeah.
kind of was like, well, surely this is just you remembering back on that traumatic moment in a different, from like a different perspective in your mind. But I was telling him, I was like, I drowned once, and it didn't seem all that bad. Like it felt very calm and peaceful and yada yada yada. But the more I thought of it as I was telling this guy the story, and this is the first time in over a decade that this thought has occurred to me, but I think it felt euphoric because when I woke up, I was actively being fed oxygen, like
Oh.
pure oxygen. So it was probably the oxygen that was making it feel a lot better than it probably was, especially since I
Yeah.
had like bruised ribs and literally just drowned and
God.
yada yada. But let's see.
Yeah.
Outside influences. That's going to lead us to this first comment here, which goes, this happened to me years ago when I was in college. When the experience happened, I was under a lot of stress. I saw myself sleeping, and then all of a sudden, my alarm went off, and I was pulled back into my body. The OP of the original post responds to this with, I've been pretty stressed since my dog fell off a roof. I want to clarify here. They didn't say my roof, the roof. They said a
Yeah.
roof. What roof was your dog on? And why are they falling off of it? And why is
Oh,
this not the
God.
story?
Yeah.
Because the original post that I just read here is very short. Nothing really happens.
No.
The most interesting thing is from the comment here about his dog falling off a roof or their dog falling off a roof. Yeah, I imagine
So
that'd be
confusing.
pretty stressful. Mr. Have you been stressed in the past?
Me?
Yeah.
Does the current count? Yes, of course I've been stressed in the past.
And again, you've never had an out-of-body experience.
No. And that being said, I've also, if I were to follow Wikipedia's suggestions here, I've also never had traumatic brain injuries. I have never experienced sensory deprivation or I've never done. Well, I have done dissociative and psychedelic drugs.
You know what? I'm just now remembering your intro because you're repeating it right now. When
Yeah.
I drowned, I had a head injury and oh my god, what was the other thing you just said? I'm drawing.
Sensory deprivation.
Yes, sensory deprivation as well because I drowned and I was underwater.
Well, another one of those things is dehydration, which drowning is like the opposite of.
Yeah, maybe that countered it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe the only thing keeping you from astral projection is that you were too hydrated.
yeah.
Hmm. Poor guy.
Okay, let's see. The next comment on here. More common than you think. I like this one. In reality, your body is just a vehicle for moving and interacting with the earth. When we die, we don't die, just our body. It's kind of like a spacesuit.
Our body is a lot like a spacesuit. No, sorry, kinda like a spacesuit.
Kind of like a spacesuit.
Okay.
Earth.
Okay. Okay. A spacesuit is something you just wear, whereas this person is suggesting that our consciousness, like our self, our soul, I guess, is wearing us like a suit, meaning there's another person shaped thing inside of this meat sack.
Yeah. I guess you'd have to believe in the idea of a soul,
Yeah.
not just a consciousness, which, the older I get in life and the more I reflect on like religion, not necessarily like my own experience with it, but other people's religion,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sold on the idea of a soul. Uh,
So get it? Anyway.
yeah. I used to write lyrics for a YouTube channel about sock puppets, and I would make a lot of soul jokes because,
Oh, because how could you not?
yeah. And now at this point in my life, when I think of souls, I can only think of socks.
And we all have our quirks.
Yeah, I think after the Christmas episode, we all know how I feel about socks.
Yes. Yes, we
Well,
do.
okay, I don't think I have much more to say about the space suit. I do love the idea that we don't just die when we die. That's just
S-
they also don't explain what happens to our soul after we die. I guess
Well,
what I'm getting is that this person thinks that when the meat sack goes, our souls just wander the plains of existence.
like, we can't wander the plains because our vehicle's dead.
Yeah. So how's it? Last night before I went to work, my partner was watching the Scooby Doo movie, the live action one, the first one,
Oh, heck
and
yes.
there's that part where Shaggy finds all the protoplasmic heads in that little pool.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm imagining right now. None of these people who astral project, at least from my stories, from what I've seen, uh, have saw themselves in the mirror. So we
Oh,
we
that's
really-
true.
we don't know what the pure essence of the soul looks like.
We're gonna have to go to the subreddit and type in mirror and see if anything comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while you
Oh,
do that, I'm gonna go ahead
yeah.
and read the next
I
comment.
should mention off the top here, not even on the top. I don't have any Ask X because every single Ask Reddit for astral projection or OBEs are, have you ever had one and what was it like? So,
Yeah, it's kind of
yeah,
boring.
it is.
All right.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead.
Next comment. I had this once. I was working on a tugboat and we have to sleep in bunks overnight for a week at a time. I woke up and walked to the bathroom, but felt like something was extremely wrong. Hold on, I'm sorry. I guess this registered maybe the first time I read this comment. But how much would it suck if you got up to go use the bathroom and realized you were just astral projecting?
And you just pissed in your bed.
Yeah. All right. I looked back at my bunk and saw myself sound asleep. Now, it's such an original feeling and almost impossible to describe, so I just relate it to impending doom. Let's just say it was a weird couple of seconds feeling myself phase into reality, trying to wake myself up. As soon as I zapped into reality, it was apparent I had an out of body experience, or astral experience. I remember
Uh-huh.
it clear as day. Wasn't a dream, but more close to reality, like my soul stepped out of me and realized something was wrong. So that kind of, the imagery at the end of that one is kind of similar to what I was just saying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I don't know. I don't know how to imagine a soul. just a soul, kind of like trying to pedal its way through
Yeah, it's
reality.
Casper, right?
Yeah,
It's a torso with arms and legs and a head and eyeballs, and I don't think he had ears, but you don't have legs. You have a little wispy tail.
yeah. That explains
That's
why.
what a soul looks like.
That explains why the first guy trying to jump on the bed didn't work. Back to that first comment, the guy said or no, the original post, the guy said he was jumping on the bed trying to get back into his body. How goofy would that feel?
Well, if we had the technology to record people's projections, I think eventually we would land on what was funny. Like after we kind of got over it, Like if humans could witness the human soul, I think it would take probably like 3 or 4 days for one of us to be like, what's funny about this?
Oh, I think it'd be immediate. I mean, have you seen the memes about just all the terrible shit in the world that come out like immediately?
Immediately? Yeah, I guess so.
So the tugboat guy, right? He's
Go
he
ahead.
uses the word reality a lot in this, but describing it as impending doom, never. I mean, all the stories I've read, people are freaked out because they're not trying to do this, right? I've seen a lot of comments of people being like, "I would kill to be able to do this," and so on and so forth. But the two stories I have, it's accidental. At least I think. I don't really remember what the second one is, but this one is certainly accidental. And why would anyone want to do this if they're reading this comment and they're like, it feels like impending doom. It feels hella creepy to be out of your
Yeah.
body. Uh, I think something that people might relate to this a lot is sleep paralysis, right? You can't move. You're trying to
Right.
perceive your environment. That certainly feels like impending doom. But I don't know. I feel like just being able to see yourself would be kind of cool. I mean, I don't even like myself, but like, if I saw myself just chilling there, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, I'd go see what else I could do, right? Oh,
You'd have to.
like that comment, the not the one from the previous episode. The guy says he literally walked out into the hallway to try to see what else he could do.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, that's like I don't even want to do this, but I feel like if I found myself in the situation, I would see what I could do.
I think the first thing I would try, I would try to see if I can manipulate technology.
Mm.
Right. If I could be a literal ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, try to poltergeist my way through existence.
It'd be like Inception, but you just go and fuck with people's technology. You go to like, on a bathroom break at work and then haunt your boss. It'd be pretty cool.
Oh man, if you had like one of those smart toilets, you could haunt the toilet.
Hey, just like the massage chair.
Oh yeah!
So,
What if that's what happened? Oh my gosh. Are we figuring this out?
oh, because the husband was asleep.
Yeah, the husband was
Story.
asleep. What if he was astral projecting into the chair, noticed that his wife had a different haircut, and commented on it?
Oh man, he's not even getting the credit for it now. Because
Yeah!
This
is a weird pull.
Yeah. All right, let me get to the last comment on this one. We'll move on to that.
Okay.
I love this last comment. OP, you mentioned your dog in the comments. I'm sorry your dog had an accident. Is your dog now able to see you astral project? Okay, first thing, I want to say this comment kind of suggests that the OP suggested themselves that they astral project all the time now. That's not at all in
No.
the story.
Nope.
From other comments that were on this post, the OP seems very freaked out, doesn't want this to happen, even asks if there's a cure for it. So I don't know where this comment is coming from on like, hey, you're doing it all the time. But I do love the OP's response to this comment, which is
I just read it.
Yeah. You can't see No, you're not imagining. He can't see anything. His eyes popped out of his head when he fell from the roof, which is terrible, right?
It's awful. I hate that I'm laughing, but it's so jarring.
Yeah. Just again.
How high was the roof?
Whose roof was it? Because this time they say the roof, but again, no elaboration on that story at all. And believe me, I looked, in these comments for elaboration. I would have even gone to the OP's page to look for a story, except they have since deleted it in the 2 years since this post came out. But on that note, let's move on to your first story.
Okay. I promise it doesn't have any dogs or roofs. So this is posted in r/outofbody 5 years ago. It is titled Pseudo Reverse OBE. For those listening who don't remember, OBE stands for Out of Body Experience. It should be OOBE. The post reads, "Hello all, longtime sleep paralysis victim here with a strange one. I've had the same typical sleep paralysis hallucinations as are often reported for OBE, and, being non-spiritual, scientific-minded person, I just follow the belief that they are bizarre hallucinations where the mind is effed up in some strange way between states of awake and asleep. Okay, all that said, has anyone had this? I routinely have the situation where I think I'm waving my limbs around and seeing them in a transparent sort of way, but I'm not actually doing that because I'm asleep. But a couple of nights back after I woke up, I very briefly got the opposite. I was awake, though with the same odd buzz sensations of sleep paralysis. I was sitting up, awake after coming out of sleep paralysis, and had my hand over my wife's head/hair and seemingly was able to see right through it. While awake? It lasted just long enough for me to ponder what the hell was happening, and then it just went away. Anyway, hard thing to Google, so I thought I'd ask on here."
It's a hard thing to understand.
It is a hard thing, like, period. Like, it's a hard thing to read.
So what is this guy saying? I was sitting up, awake after coming out of sleep paralysis, had my hand over my wife's. Okay. So I didn't even know we were going to bring up sleep paralysis outside of the comment I made earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could trust anything that happens out of sleep paralysis, because I think, again, that is a state of being half awake, and it's literally you're waking up so fast that your body can't react to it in time, is usually why sleep paralysis, affects you like that. Um, this guy sounds like he suffers from it a lot. Maybe he should just go see a doctor. I think he literally starts it, or yeah, he starts it with they have the same sleep paralysis hallucinations, and that's all this sounds like to me. So, what do the comments have to say about it?
So comment number 1 is maybe a double OBE. That's the only way I know how to call them. That's the only way I know what to call them. Okay. It's where you wake up, then suddenly realizing you're not, that you're still in it. Maybe you dozed off, went in a meditative trance-like state. Did you use 2 times? Oh my God. Did you use 2 times becoming awake in your story? What is SP? Sleep paralysis. We've covered that.
I don't think this commenter's first language is English, so
okay, maybe a double OBE. So 2 times out of body. Would that not just Uno reverse you back into your body?
Yeah. So wouldn't you be okay? So a lot of times with sleep paralysis, people claim to see like demons and stuff, right? There's literally like a painting of sleep paralysis with like a little demon.
Yeah, a little guy sitting on your chest or whatever.
On the chest, and I think, what is it? The Latin name for it means like little demon. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that because I haven't done any research. But people claim to see stuff all the time. So what this person is suggesting, I think, is that they just see their own, or I think what you're suggesting is that you see your own astral projection above you, and you're scaring the shit out of yourself in the moment when you can't move. But then also from the other end, you're just getting the shit scared out of you because you're like, holy shit, that's me. Again, with, like we mentioned with doppelgangers before, though, would you even recognize yourself, even in that state, even in the state of like, am I awake, am I asleep? The only person you're thinking of is yourself. Would you recognize yourself?
I think within the context I would. Like if I perceived myself waking up and looking down at what I recognize as my own bed and see some fat guy with a beard, I'm gonna connect those dots, I think.
I mean, it could just be Santa Claus in your bed. So
Well, Santa Claus better move over because
I'm tired.
I'm sleepy.
I want to get one of these people who claims to have astral projected, like fresh from the experience, and I want to have them describe themselves to me while I'm looking at their face and see if I'd believe if they'd actually recognize themselves or if they're just making it up in their head. Um, I don't want to discredit anybody's experience here because I don't fucking know. Again, I think it's just people looking back on a situation and from a different perspective, but I don't know, double OBE?
What
Like an
if?
idea for uh,
w-
a goofy YouTube video.
Yes. Double OBE. So, like you were saying, it was that commenter scaring themselves, but you can't have two perceptions of the same moment. So the consciousness would have been in the original body while the astral body was floating above. But if the astral body was not conscious, it was asleep. So the original body is looking up at a sleeping version of a ghost.
Yeah.
What do? Do you just like grab a hold of it and pull it down into yourself, or like how does this work?
Well, he can't. He has sleep paralysis.
Oh, that's true. Oh, and he had his wife. He had his hand over his wife's face.
Yeah.
And why? Why were you doing that?
Yeah. Well, was he trying to like wave it in front? I don't know. So
The
I feel like a lot of these experiences, all the astral projection experiences that I've heard, I think I've met someone once who claimed that they can do it whenever they wanted. I don't really remember how they described it, but I work with this man named Richard. This man has a very sad story. He's like in his 70s, I think. He met a woman that was younger than him. She was like in her late 40s, and they started a courtship. They both worked together. And then when COVID hit, they both got really sick with COVID, and she died, and he didn't. But he claims that on the same night that she died, he astral projected out of his body. But the way he describes it is that his soul was ready to leave. He was like, "I thought she was gonna come back for me and take my soul with her, but that didn't happen." It's very sad every time he brings
yeah,
it up
what
at
the
work.
heck?
And he brings it up almost every night that I see him. Uh, but from the stories that I've seen, this one, I think my two, they don't seem like people's souls like trying to leave their bodies, or maybe it is, and that's just not how they perceive it. Because if I ever think of a soul being outside of a body, that's it, right? It's like when you watch Tom and Jerry and fucking Tom's soul
Yeah.
starts leaving his body or whatever.
It's just a replication of Tom, but the opacity is lowered.
And I want to wonder if that imagery in that show is representative of experiences that people have heard of, or if these experiences now are representative of those cartoons.
You bring up a really fun point in that. Are you familiar with the phrase life imitates art?
Yeah.
So I was listening to, we don't know these people and we're not sponsored or anything, but I was listening to Red Web, and it suggested that people believe that, the gray aliens are only imagined that way because when they were first put on screen, they could only be in black and white.
Yeah. And that's like when you hear about older generations like boomers that dream in black and white because that's what their TV sets were when they were younger.
Right.
But it's also like Bader Mindkampf, I think, where you don't perceive something until it affects you personally.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious now.
So what came first, Tom and Jerry or real ghosts?
Tom and Jerry or people's souls leaving their bodies to ascend or descend. Who knows?
Let's see. Comment number 2 that I have here. I'm an avid lucid dreamer and hence get sleep paralysis often. It's not at all unusual for there to be a seamless meld to me waking up, so it seems as though I'm awake, which I guess you sort of are as these hallucinations fade away.
I didn't expect to have a lucid dreamer chime in here.
I mean, we have to, right? Like, it's bound to happen.
I can lucid dream, and it's not like the way that people describe it, like, oh, I can do whatever in my dreams. I can influence my dreams. If I wake up and, like, say I fall asleep, I'm having a pretty awesome dream, and then I wake up and I want to keep having that dream, I can literally force myself to keep having that dream by just thinking about it before I fall asleep. I can actually, like, dream about whatever I want as long as I'm thinking about that thing before I fall asleep. It
God.
usually works most of the time, but it's not like the way people describe it where it's you literally just change your dream up halfway through it. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes if you realize like you're having a scary dream and you realize like, oh wait, it's just a dream, you can change it up and all that stuff. Never have I had sleep paralysis from lucid dreaming, and never have I considered it a seamless meld to waking up, whatever that means. I don't know. I kind of just abruptly wake up. And yeah, this comic is just kind of this user has since deleted their account, and I guess it makes
Yes.
sense because this comment doesn't. What the hell are they saying? It's not at all unusual for there to be a seamless meld to me waking up. So it seems as though I'm awake, which I guess you sort of are, as the hallucination fades away. So I guess what he's saying is that as he slowly wakes up, he's still dreaming. But what the hell does that have to do with?
I will say,
body
I
experience?
think the most confusing part about this comment is that it uses two sets of parentheses. One set of parentheses is in the other set of
Yeah.
parentheses. So
Yeah.
if I were to just erase the parentheses, the sentence is, it's not at all unusual for there to be a seamless meld to me waking up as the hallucinations fade away. I still don't get it.
So instead of using the parentheses, this person should have just used commas. Let's see.
Are you going to edit the doc?
Well, I'm just gonna edit it. I mean, it'll adjust for you, but just for my prosperity, we're just grammaring this guy's comment.
Yeah.
It's not at all unusual for there to be a seamless meld to me waking up. So it seems as though I'm awake, which I guess you sort of are, as the hallucinations fade away. So from what I'm understanding, it's just he's slowly waking up, and it seems like he's more awake than he actually is as the dreams kind of fade out of his head.
Hold on.
Which again-
I'm gonna re-say this. I'm gonna say what this guy's saying in a different way. When I wake up, the dreams stop.
Yeah, essentially.
That's what he's saying.
No, but what they're saying is the dreams stop slowly. They eventually stop.
Like, could you imagine continuing to dream as you're like brushing your teeth and getting ready for the day?
So, okay, so you know what? As I'm imagining it that way, I have had this happen, right?
Okay.
You wake up and you're half asleep, and especially when you have to be at work soon or get ready for school, you wake up, you're like, shit, I'm awake, I gotta get ready for all this stuff. And then the next thing you know, you're waking up again because your ass just fell back asleep and, I don't know, maybe dreamed that you were getting ready. So I think that's all this person is saying, which isn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I know this user's deleted, but I wish there was a way to take away karma.
Yeah. Well, deleting your account, I'm sure it does. You can't keep using it, right?
That's true.
All right. Well, I think those were the only comments for that post.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on to my next one.
Do it.
From the Paranormal Encounters subreddit. This was from 10 months ago. My soul almost got sucked out of my body. Sorry, let me read that again because my soul almost got sucked out of my body. Okay.
There's a question mark, yes.
A question mark in the title is always crazy. My soul almost left my body just now. Just now.
Just now.
This guy literally went
Straight to Reddit.
Immediately. I was
Take a
sleeping,
drink.
I was sleeping very peacefully and had a dream. I was aware that I was dreaming the whole time. Then I laid on my back and my head started pounding more and more, about 5 seconds. So it pounded 5 times.
Okay.
After that, my body felt very strange, almost numb. And then my head started vibrating, like when you have a controller lying on the table and it vibrates.
Thank you for describing vibrates with vibrates.
I like how they use controller, which I'm imagining means like a console
Like a video
controller,
game.
like
Yeah.
an Xbox or something, where I think most people would just think phone.
Oh yeah, that it is more universal than controller.
It felt like my soul was being pulled out of my body through my mouth. Then I remembered my friend and astral projection, and my other friend saying that this is very bad. I'm sorry. Why bring up the one friend and then be like, but another friend said that was crazy? Okay, let me try that one more time.
Yeah.
Then I remembered my friend and astral projection, and my other friend saying that it is very bad. So I took a deep breath, and it went away. Oh, just that easy, huh?
Oh,
Then it
thank
happened
goodness.
again. Oh no. Exactly the same one. Exactly
Shit.
the same. Only this time my mouth was closed and it felt like something was pulling their fingers in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Oh, pudding.
And it felt like something was putting their fingers in my mouth and pulling it open so that my soul could come out. Then I inhaled and covered my mouth with my hand. Then I woke up, opened my eyes without actually opening them. What? Okay. And then I woke up properly. So this guy woke up 4 times
Man.
in the span of what a story. You know what? I'm gonna just say it. This was all a dream. I don't think
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like they were awake for any of it.
According to Wikipedia, these sort of situations can be brought on by dreaming. That was one of the examples.
By dreaming, yes. They're not dreams. They're just your dreams cause this to happen.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Uh I don't think I actually read the comments on this one, so
Oh,
let's
this will be
see.
fun.
By the way, I should have mentioned this at the top. New year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
We're trying to condense this show as much as possible, like format it so that it runs a lot smoother and we don't ramble as much. It's working great so far.
Yeah, fantastic.
We brought on a friend of the show, friend
Yeah, shout
of
out.
our lives, Ethan, aka Mr. E, which great little moniker for this show.
Yeah.
So thanks, Ethan, for putting this doc together and trying to keep us together. So let's see what comments Ethan pulled, or I'm sorry, Mr. E pulled. This is strange. I literally just learned about astral projection 2 days ago watching an old YouTube video. I had never heard of it before and searched for more videos. There are many videos out there about it. Maybe you should search YouTube and see if you can find anything that could help you. I guess there are ways you can make yourself project. It sounds very interesting, and I would like to see if I can make myself do it. I think if it's controlled, it wouldn't be as scary. I think if I remember correctly, I did look through some of these comments, and the original poster, the OP, obviously very traumatized by this experience, keeps saying that they don't want this to happen again. They keep trying to figure out if they can not have it happen again. And most of the other comments are like, "Oh man, I would kill for this. Like, I wish I could do it right now. I'll
I
switch places
think
with you."
with you saying that, I think the consensus for me is that people just want to experience new things, even if it's scary, right? People can come off of a roller coaster and be shaking in fear, and then someone else around, no matter who it is, or how many people around, one person at least is going to be like, "I'm doing that." You know what I mean?
Yeah, people are dumb. Let's see. OP responded to that comment with, "It's evil. I don't want to do it." So moving on to the next comment. I watched several videos about it after I read this. I guess there are different techniques. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is continuing that conversation.
Yeah, that's a thread.
I watched several videos about it after I read this. I guess there are different techniques to use that should keep you safe. I actually forgot about it until I saw your reply I think I've had dreams close to this and they didn't scare me. I would like to try it! Exclamation point. Um, all right. I don't know. I personally wouldn't have any desire to do this.
Look, I'm not gonna. I think for scientific sake, if I wanted to do like a little experiment, I would do more research than checking on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My worry is, and this everyone should have this worry. What if you can't get back?
Or what if, like in Scooby-Doo, someone else is astral projecting near you, and then you wind up in different bodies?
And you swap bodies. Well, that could go either way from me, I think.
Imagine if you're astral projecting, and then your dog is also astral projecting, and then you swap bodies, and your dog decides, hell no, I'm not going back to being a dog. I like thumbs. And then they just take over your body. What are you going to do about it then? You're a dog.
I can do nothing unless I could somehow, through my dog abilities, convince my master, who is my dog, to also astral project on his own terms, and I could somehow bait and switch our own bodies in that way.
See, in this scenario, I'm trying to think, would you be then a dog that can talk, and your body is now a body that can only bark? Or
if anyone were to suggest that this podcast doesn't break new ground, here is my argument, and this is it. If you were astral projecting and you ended up swapping places with your dog, consciousness and soul could your dog talk in his new human body, or would he only know how to vocalize as a dog?
Exactly. And then when he goes to work and is earning your paycheck, if you can figure out how to get there and whatnot. How does that go? I mean, my job would be pretty easy. I don't have to talk to anybody, but that could probably go very badly for other people.
Sure, but your dog would also have to know how to fill out tax forms and
I'm sorry,
know how to read a schedule.
Mr. R, do you know how to fill out tax forms?
I know how to fill out a 1099 on my own.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Before we end this thought, if you are then the dog,
or
you're yourself in this dog's body, I mean, surely once that body expires, you're done for, right? Your soul leaves that body. Would you then be able to fight your dog's soul to get back into your body? Or is the dog just going to surrender you to a shelter, get rid of you, and then move to a different country and try to live on as a human as long as possible?
I think when it comes to the spiritual combat for thumbs, I don't think you're allowed to continue fighting once your body passes. Because if that were the case, if we were to play with that fiction, then every time a person dies, every time a thing dies, it can then compete for its next better body.
Hey, isn't that just what reincarnation is?
I guess if we're leaving out the whole karmic system.
Yeah.
However, all of this would make a good young adult novel.
Yeah. So. Just another reason why I prefer cats, because I don't think my cat would be interested in doing anything that I do. So, all right, the last comment on this one. The exact same thing happened to me, down to the vibrating noise and everything. My soul even felt like it snapped back like an elastic band back into my body. It was the weirdest sensation ever and so creepy. So this
good.
I like this user's name. It's SadGirl1313. This would suggest that there's just something out there trying to snatch people's souls. It's your dogs, guys.
Yeah, we just covered this.
Adopt cats. Avoid this. All right, I guess I don't have anything else to say about this.
There was something in there. There was something in that conversation that we could name this episode. I don't know what it was yet, but I'm sure during editing you'll figure it out.
Oh man, yeah, I'll have to figure it out.
So for my first trick, no, my next story. Here it is. Okay. Oh, I also posted the first post that I could find where within a Reddit astral projection r/astral projection, I looked up mirrors.
Oh.
And the last
Oh.
thing in the stories chat, we could read that after this story.
Sure. Yeah.
So on r/astral projection, as of 10 hours ago, the user Tough Philosopher 13 posted this. The title is, "I met a guide, but she was referring to me as, quote, the alien she's guiding." Okay. There's a bit of flair on here that says need tips, advice, and insights. So at the end of this, Mr. X, I'm really hoping you could supply some advice for this user, okay?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. "Hi!" There's an exclamation point. "I need some help understanding this. I was astral projecting tonight. I was in my room when a woman appeared. She started talking to me, and she said she was always watching me. She said she can't understand why I liked my ex-boyfriend, and she made fun of me for some bad choices I made. She said she also know my future, but she can't tell me. I forgot to question whether I should trust her or not, but I trusted her immediately. I also saw her aura, and it was white/gray. I don't know if it was gray or white, but it seemed gray for the gray tint of the astral plane."
Okay.
She said, sorry, I actually can't get over that. "She said that there was a lot of weird spirits in my house, but also said that she came to me other times. She looked familiar, but now I don't remember when I had seen her before. I don't know. I had the impression she was my guide. The weird thing is, after a while, I had a vision of her and another woman. They were talking about, quote, the aliens they were watching over. And I had the impression that they were talking about me and someone else. Does anyone have any insight on this? Why should I be the alien? She had a human form. She didn't look like she's from another planet. Any ideas? Thank you in advance."
So
So,
this is
Mr.
hard to
X,
understand, but my advice would be stop fucking astral projecting it. This is what's happening to you. And stop going immediately to Reddit. Like, I don't know, maybe process this before you just post it right away.
have a sit down with yourself.
Also, grammar. Grammar is very important. Like-
Yeah, but I mean that's a through thread. We could make a different podcast about bad grammar on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
I also saw her aura, and it was white/gray. Parenthesis. I don't know if it was gray or white, but seemed gray for the gray tint of the astral plane.
Great. Probably should have just said gray then.
Yeah, come on.
I like how they put the little praying hands at the end of the.
Yeah, thank you in advance. Prayer emoji.
Oh man, what I don't know. I don't have any advice for this. My only advice so far has been don't adopt dogs.
Tough Philosopher 13 needs help, advice, need tips, insights now. Okay, I have some insight here.
Okay.
The poster said, "I forgot to question whether I should trust her or not, but I trusted her immediately. Don't do that."
Hey, let me. I am looking through their
Oh no.
Reddit page right now.
Oh no.
This person just seems like they do a lot of drugs, if I'm being honest. Maybe I don't know. I don't know this person, but I do like the title of one of their posts from 27 days ago. "I feel like fainting when I'm in emotional pain. Any advice?" Person wants a lot of advice. "When I'm in emotional pain, I feel a weird sensation of nausea and fainting. What can I do?" Let's see. "Is it possible that I forget my astral projecting and start dreaming? Maybe you're just dreaming the whole time. I met a guide, but she was referring to me as the alien she's guiding, right? And then the post after that, an hour after that, is it possible that my altar is a portal? This person doesn't seem like someone I'd want to hang out with." Okay, I'm sorry. Any interesting comments on this one?
Xanth, that's spelled Xanth 1879 as of 5 hours ago, is an experienced projector and says, quote, "Guides," unquote, aren't meant to be, or aren't beings which just sit there in the non-physical peeping in on our lives. That's just not how it works. When you project, they arise from consciousness like a wave from the ocean to provide a more one-on-one interface with you. Your personal views on, quote, aliens probably drove this experience more than anything.
You know, I'm realizing now, looking at these little flares under the usernames, if anyone from this subreddit finds our podcast, they were banned from it.
Probably. I assume if we make enough of these episodes, we're going to be banned from a lot of Reddit channels.
Yeah, it's a good thing we've never given our Reddit username on the show before.
Ah, yes, not once.
Yeah, on pod.
Let's see. The original poster, Tough Philosopher 13, comments and says, "Thank you for the insight, but I don't understand."
They say, "I don't think I understand."
Oh, I don't think I understand. So sorry. Daily Spirit 4. Yeah, are you going to read that?
Xanath is a little bit too Tom Campbell, but he is right. Who the fuck is Tom Campbell? It takes time and self-education from the right source to understand it. Hold on, I gotta look up who Tom Campbell is.
Sorry, the first thing that came up when I looked up Tom Campbell is my big toe. I'm not joking. I'm not making a joke. A Big Picture Theory of Everything by Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell's My Big Toe Theory of Everything is a revolutionary scientific model explaining why the physical universe emerges from consciousness and how this gives purpose and meaning to your existence.
Wow. Like, can you imagine hanging out with any of these people for any amount of time? I'm sure you have hung out with people like this before in the past.
I have. I guarantee I have.
Somebody like this. Yeah.
I went to a community college.
Yeah, that's true. Daily Spirit 4 had a full comment on there.
Oh, yeah.
That entity was a guide. Yours. You can trust her. This is a typical close guide behavior. Could be a parallel self, maybe. A parallel self is you from a different perspective. But later on, if you talk with each other many times, not just a few times, test her, asking things, validate things. It will turn out if that is the case. They will not tell future stuff most of the time for your own sake. This also proves it is a genuine guide. What else would it be?
Yeah.
I don't think these guys are the religious type. Well, definitely not Christians. Anything else, whatever you or she, genderless, we're talking about next, in my opinion, is not that important, and it is up to interpretation. Nobody is alien. This is just something you or you both are mixing into the conversation when you lose your awareness level a little bit. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Or don't trust me, LOL. Check my site if you want to learn about the non-physical world. I'm not clicking on that link.
Yeah, nice self-promo. Man, there's a lot to... Okay, a new thing I have been taught from this podcast is that parentheses don't fucking matter. You can use them however you want.
Or just ignore them. I think that's literally what parentheses are for, right? It's just something you can ignore.
It's something we don't have to read, right?
Yeah, it's just for more information. But I didn't need that information, so...
You just made your post harder to read.
As I proved, trying to read it out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a little bit of a thread on that one. I'm not gonna get this one.
No.
I feel like I'm in an episode of King of the Hill, and I'm Hank.
And yeah, you're fucking any one of the dads.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone else commented. She mentioned weird spirits in your house. Learn to clear your house and person of discordant energy or entities. They can attach and hang around, negatively affecting your experience. Okay.
Original poster says, "Yes, I know. The problem is I have 5 flatmates. A lot of people have lived here, so it's very difficult to keep the whole house clean. We don't mean of like detritus. For now, my room is empty, but a lot of spirits are outside my door and around the house. but I'll try to do more cleansing for sure.
You know what? I didn't want to stereotype this person, but it definitely sounds like they live in a commune now, right?
But, okay, I'll argue against that in that their argument here is saying I can't do a lot of cleansing because I live in a flat with 5 other people. But it sounds like those 5 other people aren't really into the whole cleansing thing.
Sure.
Otherwise, they would all, they'd have a night of it, right? They'd make an evening out of cleansing their place.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I guess I could see that. I don't know. I'm not about this lifestyle, so this one is wild for sure. I mean, this is the only one I saw that referred to a guide of any type.
Yeah.
Weird shit.
Let's see.
We'll surely be banned from this subreddit at some point.
We got to get found out first. And
yeah,
any publicity is good publicity.
Tell your friends. Find these people. Tell them that we're making fun of them, I guess. I don't know.
And it's not the point of the podcast to cast ire
people
or to make fun of. But like we've said before, if you're allowed to post it, we're allowed to roast it. And it's not that we're shaming you for these things. Please continue. Make these posts because we can continue the show on those posts. We have been going on for just about an hour.
Yes.
The last thing I want you to read is the don't look into a mirror when you astral project.
Oh. I didn't even read the title, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
From the... Wait, is this the same subreddit?
r/astral projection.
Okay. Don't look into a mirror when you astral project. This is flared with negative AP experience. Things will look weird in a mirror when you astral project. I looked into a mirror and I did not look like myself. I looked like a totally different person. It was weird. I look like a woman. I'm a man. Oh.
Yeah, the reason we're laughing is because it does say I'm a man, LOL, so we wanted to add the laughter.
Yes. I try to avoid mirrors when I astral project because I always hate what I see. Oh, relatable.
I hate women.
Yeah. Mr. R said that, not me.
Yeah. I was being the post.
I'm not sure why I always see something different than what I actually am. He saw a dog once. Anyone else have an experience where they looked into a mirror in astral and see an entirely different person? There are 74 comments on here. Before we get into the comments, what the hell would that say about your experience, right? You're like, I'm astral projecting, but it's a different person. So then what if when you astral project, and I think this is what I always considered it when I heard about it before, is projecting into a different person, not necessarily a different realm or reality. So maybe you're astral projecting into another body, like your dog, and you're seeing things through that person's eyes, right? But then how does that explain these people seeing their own bodies? I guess it could be different. It could be two different things. An astral projection is not necessarily an
another physical
experience.
Form. Right.
Well, it's like an out-of-body experience could just be like, oh no, I'm not in my body. Whereas astral projection is someone purposefully trying to be somewhere else.
Mm.
And so maybe this person is just projecting into another body. So when they look in a mirror, they're not seeing themselves, they're seeing other people.
Are you suggesting...
Or a dog. Yeah.
Are you suggesting that we as humans could possess another person and perceive through their own eyes?
If we willed it enough.
So...
or smoked enough pot or something. I don't know.
It's because you can't do it because you don't want it bad enough. So the way I'm the way I'm seeing this in my head, in my mind's eye, is that when this person, Worthy Deku is the name of the poster. When Worthy Deku is astral projecting, they're projecting as their astral self, right? As their, for lack of a better word, their soul. My thing is, maybe, and forgive the pun here, but maybe you're projecting your hatred on women because you yourself see you as one.
Oh, maybe they're a trans person who just hasn't come
right. They
out.
haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
They have, like, I think you need to look deep inward and ask yourself, am I a woman? I hate to get all therapy on this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your astral self is trying to perceive you as the thing that you most desire. You're just too stubborn, or
Yeah.
I don't know, fucking something. This comment.
I wish a therapist would say that.
This is the first comment on here. Kind of wants to refute this from what I read in the first sentence.
Okay.
Hi, I'm sharing my experience in the hope that it will help you to shed the fear of looking into mirrors during your AP. For the most part, you will always see a different reflection back at you. Different race, different gender, etc. I see all these as different incarnations of the self. Sometimes you will see your current self as well. Other times, I've also pushed through the mirror to go to the other side of it, but I am still working on not being nervous when I do so, by reminding myself that I cannot be harmed. I hope this helps. I hope this guy goes through a mirror and then is like immediately shot, and he's just like, "Oh no, I can be harmed."
Well, okay, but this does suggest, according to Constant Thought 7518, says, I have also pushed through the mirror to go to the other side of it. Is he suggesting that there's like a world on the other side of the mirror?
Oh yeah, like a nether.
Yeah,
world.
like a reverse world.
Reverse world. Mirror world. Chalk world.
Coming to HBO this fall.
Did you ever watch Chalk World? Is that the name of that show?
Chalk Zone. That's so
Chalk
funny. I
Zone,
was
yes.
just talking to Jenna about Chalk Zone.
Okay, I didn't consider that maybe you're just looking at different versions of yourself throughout history and time and space.
Yeah.
But I guess that's something. So maybe the guy was a woman, is a woman, however the universe works.
However time and space works.
I like how this guy's like, you can see different race. So like this is a, I don't know, let's just say a white dude.
Sure.
Just how I imagine all of these people, but whatever.
What?
And he's astral projecting. He looks in the mirror and he sees an Asian guy, and he's just like, "Oh, nice." I don't see how that could go wrong in any way.
I think if more people did this, they would appreciate the point of view of other people's. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, there'd be less racism. Until you think
certainly
about until you think about the fact that a lot of people, there's a lot of self-loathing out there in the world. So
There's plenty of it.
Maybe it'd make it worse.
Oh, actually, you know what? I am thinking of another drawback of this is if some hacky sack kicking white guy was like, I also projected once and I was a black guy, so I could say the N-word.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that could go on wrong real quick.
Yeah. Let's see. There's another comment. Every time I looked into an astral mirror, I saw myself exactly as I am. Questioning emoji. Usually with messy hair though. Like I just got out of bed. All right. It must be something unresolved in your subconscious. Like we've been saying. I recommend you face them on, not run away. Did they
fight yourself?
Ran away? Kiss yourself, man. If you're a man and it's a woman, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No, according to the Bible, you can kiss your woman astral self.
Yeah. Teenagers practice. Oh, maybe this is like a subconscious thing, like teenagers practice kissing with a mirror or something. I don't know.
This would have made it so much easier.
Yeah, if you could see yourself as the the girl
Yeah.
you like or the guy you like, and you're, mwah. I don't know.
Just you wouldn't be able to train because you wouldn't get any better because your only reference would be yourself. But I don't know. It would kind of take the pressure off, unless you fall in love with your astral self and no one else can compete.
Oh no, this is
Yeah.
a TV show. A guy falls in love with his alternate self, and he lives outside of reality as he tries to court himself. I don't know.
We have made way too many false TV shows on this podcast.
Have we?
I think we have.
This next comment says, "Bruh, looking in the mirror is the coolest part." That one's way too long. You likely saw your past life. Sure.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
the expert ones are always pretty fucking long. Let's see. I saw blue mist in more or less humanoid form with two bright light blue lights where their eyes should be. I don't get the whole don't look in the mirror, don't do this or that in AP. I think the only thing you are really not supposed to do in AP is not something so silly. What? I think the only thing you are really not supposed to do in AP is not something so silly as a mirror or asking a specific question to a being. You only shouldn't make any pacts or conform to requests you don't understand. Simply be mindful of who you trust, just like in real life, and don't do things you are scared of doing. Poof, all rules done. So what this guy's suggesting is that if your dog astral projects into your body, don't let him
God
sign
damn it.
paperwork.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. That's going to have to do it for this astral projecting or out of body themed episode. If you have any supernatural stories of your own, you can submit them to us for this show down in the comments below or at our Reddit, which is PONDPOD.
Yeah, so we've been a Paranormal Dudes, ever in need of stories to intrigue, perplex, maybe even frighten. So remember, if you can't explain it, astral project and then post about it. Until next time, stay tuned and stay haunted.